Hello, welcome to my map room, which really is just the closet under my stairs in the basement. But it's a good place to keep all the maps when they're not in use. If I had my way, I'd probably hang them on the wall, probably for two reasons. The first reason is so that I could look at them when I come down here into the HQ. The second reason would be when I come down into the HQ, then I could look at them. Either way, this is the first item that you probably should customize in your Axis and Allies game. This is the first map that I printed, and it was quite a few years ago. One of the guys in our group, he wanted to print a map, and he wanted to print this one from AxisandAllies.org, and it is YG's map that I think he worked on with Invizzle, and I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. And he got he got four of us in our group to go in, and we got a big discount and had it printed. And it was kind of pricey, just because of the matte finish that we got on there, and the fact that we went ahead and printed both sides. This is just the straight map with no alterations, and this is customized with different roundels and different items across the map. One of the things I do like is the air bases and naval bases printed right on here, so ease for setup. I mean, when we're playing people that are well aware of Global 40, we don't even put those pieces on the board because they're on the map. We know they're there. So why should you print a custom map? Well, maybe you've played with this guy before. It comes up and he leans on that map. Oh, it doesn't slide. There we go. Crying out loud. On a regular table, that would really slide like that. And of course, your maps jig, pieces go everywhere. It just makes for a funner game of Global 40 to have a printed map. Here's another map out of the box that is somewhat of a problem, and as I'm laying it down, I'm sure you know all about it. This map is warped as warped can be, right out of the box. And a good replacement map for that is also found on AxisandAllies.org. And it is a fine looking map. I printed it a little larger than the original, so we've got more space. And this is printed by Imperious Leader. Not printed by. He made the map and put it online for anyone to download and print. And I thought it had his name here somewhere, but I don't see it. But that's where we got it. So if you want to look that up on AxisandAllies.org, you can just look up in the map section, look for Axis and Allies 1914, and this one's on there for sure. There may be some other ones. The most terrifying map out of box is Anniversary, and it's a nice map, 3 boards. You'd think that would be great, but it warps up like nobody's business. Almost into a half moon. So that would be another one that you should probably print into a custom map so that you don't have to deal with that. So now that you've decided to print a map, you're going to need to decide what's the best material for you to print on. And I'm going to have to say that's going to really be determined by how you're going to store the maps, what kind of storage you have. This map stays on the table the whole time. I put maps on top of it. We sometimes we got 2 or 3 maps laid, underneath, that we're playing on. So it's an easy place to store them. I do have room to store them in a closet here in the basement here. So at your place though, where you're going to store them, I mean, if you're into rolling the maps, you're probably styrene. You're going to have to get it a lot thinner, because that's about the extent of the roll on this one without really hurting the map. And this styrene, I believe on this one, is 4 millimeters. And I did print a map at 2 millimeters on the styrene, but you can see it's not heavy enough for the edges to lay down. So that's slightly irritating. So you don't want to go too light or too thin on your styrene, but you don't want to go too thick either, as I have done that with the very first map I printed on my own, and it is thick. I can't remember what the thickness was, but I wasn't paying attention. And if you were going to try and roll that without hurting it, I mean, you're talking, that's about it, which that doesn't save a whole ton of space. So make sure you get the right thickness, and the right thickness I'm going to say is in that 3 to 5 range, and that's millimeters. That's pretty much how they define that. And when you're making a vinyl map, how they do it is they print on a vinyl adhesive, and they will adhere, I guess, to the styrene itself. And then, like on this map, we actually had them put a matte finish on there. Cold laminate, I think, is what they call that. And that really cuts down on the scratches. And this is an actual vinyl adhesive. You see, you would just peel that off and stick it if you were going to try and do it yourself. But the reason why I pull that out is it lays flat enough that you don't really need to stick that to anything. If you don't, if you're going to have to store it, rolled up, and it's a decent size, you could probably get it, pretty small on that. So that's a good option. It's not very durable though. You can crinkle that one and bend it very easy. Probably the easiest option for rolling, I got that upside down, is vinyl. And I will admit, I don't like vinyl. It just doesn't feel right playing on as a map. That's just my personal preference. I like the map, but I don't like the vinyl so much. There is one vinyl that does work pretty good. And oddly enough, it's not at your local printer. This map was printed at an Office Depot. They have a vinyl that is called an scrim vinyl outdoor banner material. And it's more solid and less, I don't know if you could see that on there, how that really has you can really see the material in there, and that is irritating to me to no end. Whereas this vinyl, it looks like a map right out of a book. Sire Blood printed this map. This was a prize at the BBR a couple weeks ago. And I have printed this earlier this year on styrene that's on one of my tables over on the other side of the room. He printed this on that scrim vinyl, and then he sprayed it with a clear coat to protect the printing process from scratches. And if I'm going to travel somewhere and play, I'm going to use this map. If I'm playing here in the HQ, I'm going to use my vinyl map, or my styrene map. One thing you want to make sure when you're printing off your map is that you tell the printer what kind of finish you'd like on the map. On this map, it's a deluxe map, the first one that I printed. I did not specify the finish, and what I've got here is really rich, beautiful colors. It's an amazing map, but it's a gloss finish. And you can see that glare can be brutal. Right now I just have the light that's above it that's glaring on it, but if you play this map during the day, the light that comes in from the window really can make a mess of it. So it's a good idea to get a matte finish, which is the one on the map we printed the first time when I had help printing maps. So you learn a few things when you print your own map. You learn not to get too thick on the styrene. You learn the finish that you should have. And I would say it's a trial and error process, but I really don't have any map that I don't like, other than maybe that vinyl one that I printed. I didn't care for that one at all. So you have to decide what map you want to print. Are you a global guy? Are you an anniversary? Because anniversary map, it needs to be printed, whether it's a vinyl that you roll up, whether it's a styrene that you can, it's not too large a map to store, and you got lots of choices ahead of you. Thanks for watching this video. Let me know what you thought. Hit the subscribe, and I will see you later. Have you ever heard the phrase, to curl up with a good book? You probably have, and not that I have anything against books, but I would prefer to curl up with a good map. Maps everywhere, map. Tricking out the scenery, breaking my mind.